VAFA Tragics, great to have your company for another week. No Premier Section football on the weekend, plenty of Division football to talk about. There were women's finals, but we do have a special guest on the show tonight as we welcome the captain of St Kevin's Old Boys, Anthony Plugger Lynch. How are you?
Thanks, Lenny. Nick, good to be on, boys.
Nick, great to have you on the desk as well.
Yeah,
under a bit of duress.
Yeah, I am a bit. So it's been a week-long injury for me. You know, a bit sick, but pushing
Would
through.
you play?
Absolutely not. I was.
So you'd be a late withdrawal with illness?
Yeah, no chance.
And Brenton Mann, obviously a late withdrawal with illness as well.
Yeah, he is actually.
You two sharing the same hankies or something?
Yeah, but I'm the one that pushes through clearly. So.
Great to have you on board.
Thanks,
We're going to kick things off the top of the show with a bit of St Kevin's talk, if that's all right with you. I'm sure you'll handle that.
Absolutely.
One of the main reasons we got you on, we can't look past it, is the discussion that was around on social media and a bit of conjecture going around last week about one of your players potentially getting remuneration of some sorts outside of what they should be being an amateur player. First question off the top, it's a tough one. What's your position on that, and what's the club's position on that?
Look, the club obviously made a statement. It's difficult to give too much oxygen to it, to be honest. There's absolutely no truth in any of the distasteful rumours that were said. So, yeah, look, you know, I'm super confident, as is the club, that everything that's happening at our football club, players are playing there for the right reasons. And as I said, it was disappointing to hear, but you know, as a group, we've moved on really quickly.
I've spent time talking about the number of great names that you've got at the club.
Yep.
In the pre-season, we caught up, and it's exciting, I guess, for you guys as players to have these guys come to the club and want to play at the club for the love of the game.
Absolutely. And look, there's a genuine connection with all those guys that have come in with someone at the club. So, and these guys, life after footy, I think it's great for the amateurs. Like, I really do. I mean, I know it's easy for me to say because there's guys coming to our club, but I think it's good for our competition. I really do. And as I said, it's been great. It's great for our young guys to have the likes of, Jay and Mitch and Mark to come to our footy club. So yeah, as I said, I think it's great for our club, but great for the competition.
This rumour and innuendo stuff, is it something that's discussed within the playing group throughout the week that it happened?
Not really. Like it was a matter of just putting it to bed very quickly. Obviously, Paul Murphy got on the front foot. I think made a statement within a day or two of the rumours coming out, and I guess through the nature of social media and WhatsApp groups and whatever, it goes viral quite quickly. But the volume of people it goes to doesn't give it any credibility. So I just think that as a group and as a club, we had to sort of come together and say, yep, guys, there's rumours out there. It's all rubbish, but let's sort of move forward really quickly. So it's honestly a non-issue. It's a non-issue at our footy club.
Nick, I guess from the VAFA perspective, they also put out a statement on their website about the fact that there is an integrity unit at the VAFA.
Yep.
Do we know at this stage if there is any sort of investigation going on at all?
No, we don't know. They're an independent integrity division, so we're not informed of that unless something comes out of it. But they work completely independent of administration.
By the sounds of it, there's nothing to investigate.
I'm sorry to disappoint you.
No, that's fair enough. That's fair enough.
The truth isn't as juicy as maybe you wanted it to be.
That's okay. On to the footy side of things.
Sure.
It's been a phenomenal year. You've had the one loss, which was a bit of an aberration if you look at it, the big 96-point loss to Collegians.
Yep.
Does it feel like 2 years ago? What's the feeling around the club in terms of that Premier B flag that you stormed to?
I guess there's some similarities. I think the difference is that it's we've got great respect for the competition, and to win Premier flags is very difficult. It's something that our club's never done before. So yeah, it's great. We're having a lot of fun. We've won more games than we've lost, but we're realistic about where it's at. And obviously, we get through the next 4 weeks. That's when the real season starts. So yeah, there's elements of it, but I think it's a much tougher competition at Premier level.
Is it something you speak about again as a playing group? I mean, you obviously won it in B grade, and like you said, you haven't won it at Premier level. Is it something you think about now, or are you just taking it 1 week, that sort of stuff?
Look, I think you have to think about it. I mean, it's more about understanding the history of the club and understanding that the club's never done it before. So, if it's a carrot to be that first group that was, able to go all the way, of course that acts as motivation. But again, the great thing about the competition is that the relegation promotion system, you can't look too far ahead because, every year in amateur footy, particularly in the top divisions, bottom sides who are fighting relegation knock off top sides. So, we'll continue to get through the next 4 weeks. and hopefully we'll be in a position. I'm confident we'll be in a position to challenge. But as I said, great respect for the rest of the competition.
What's been the main driver of improvement this year? I mean, you finished 8th last year, and you
Yep.
were in the relegation talks a few weeks out
Absolutely.
from round 18. So what has been the main driver? Is that Shannon Grant? Is that the recruits? What is it for you?
It's probably a combination of all of the above. Clearly, the new coaching group, and Shannon's at the helm, but obviously Tom Williams, Guy Martin, and Jesse Sinclair, like a completely new group, and they're outstanding. Like I'm confident that they would rival any sort of VFL coaching group. We feel at times like we're almost getting coached like an AFL group with a level of tactic and review, etc. that goes on.
How many hours are you putting into the club, like as players, to go through that?
It's still very much just Tuesday, Thursday, but we're there for we're probably there for 2.5 hours each night of pure footy stuff. Tuesday's a pretty solid review, 30 minutes in front of the edits, and then we obviously go out and train it straight away. Clearly the coaches have had a massive impact, but we've had a fairly big list changeover as well. It's obvious the big name recruits, and I understand why there's focus on them, but we were fortunate enough to be able to get about 6 to 8 St Kevin's boys back from VFL, with obviously the exception being Ben Dowd, who come back from overseas. From injury, I should say.
Steve Delapec decided to bob up as well after retiring?
Well, exactly. We didn't. Yeah, you're right. I think he played round 2. So, but again, it's great. When you see a guy like that keen to play again, I guess that sort of creates the excitement around the group.
The other thing it does when you've got those big names is, I think a couple of years ago you said you were going to kick 100 goals in a season. What's that after that? You're playing in the ruck again.
I lost a few bets at Kooyong one day, Lenny. I think with yourself and Michael Sholly after I think it was Kooyong Classic Day, and I'd had too many beers, and we just recruited all these players. I thought I'm finally going to get out of the ruck and sit at full forward for the whole year, and I don't think I kicked more than about 25 goals. So I lost that bet convincingly.
How are you enjoying the rut this year? Are you playing best footy for you for a long time, or you played better? How do you rate yourself this season so far?
It's difficult to do. I mean, I think probably the reason you've got credibility is that you're doing it at the highest level in our competition. So, certainly through my mid-20s, I had some good years, but they were in Premier B, and the side wasn't going so well. So, to be able to compete and contribute at the highest level in our competition, certainly it would be one of my better years so far.
Are you more enthusiastic about your football at the moment than maybe you have when you're in Premier B?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, and I think the reality is that the closer you are to the end, the more you appreciate it. Every session, every game, and clearly when you're winning, it helps. But all those things combined, the coaching group, the way we play makes it enjoyable to play. And understanding that I'm probably closer to the end than the start, I really cherish every game.
Which are the players that have stood out for you from your side this year that really stepped up?
Thomas Jock's probably the first one that comes to mind. I mean, he's a schoolboy at St Kevin's that played as a 19-year-old in the TAC Cup last year. So he was involved in the Metro Championships, playing for Vic Country. So we were really fortunate to get him. I still believe he probably deserves to be on a list somewhere, whether that's as a rookie or hopefully with his year that he's had, he's still a live chance to do that.
Yep.
So he's an obvious one. Lockie Sullivan's another young kid who I think was a rising star round 1.
Yep.
I mean, he's playing as a starting mid in one of the best teams in the competition, and he's only 19. Sam Critchy's another one who obviously a schoolboy who we got back from Williamstown. He's been super. So I'll get in trouble for missing someone, Lenny, but...
The Big V, you were best on ground, named best on ground. You had an absolute day out alongside Nicky de Steiger there. How was the feeling amongst the group, and how did you enjoy that?
Yeah, look, it was, I mean, in all seriousness, there wasn't a bad player in the team. I mean, you don't win by 15 goals unless everyone has a good day out. So I was fortunate to get the nod there from the umps. It was nice. It was probably the best experience I've had playing in the Big V. I've been fortunate enough to play a few times now.
Played some big games against Eastern and Northern you've played against.
Yeah. Just probably the cohesion in the group more than anything. I mean, the win was great, but from the first session that we had together, there was just a great feel. All egos were left at the door. All club jumpers were left at the door. I just felt there was great cohesion. And obviously we had a fantastic result on the day. But just as I said, the experience from week 1 through to the end, and that's credit also to the coaching group. Like, Powley, he started this campaign really at the end of 2016, didn't he? With the disappointment of last year, and then had some key leaders on board. So yeah, it was a fantastic experience. I'm glad that I was able to have one more go.
In terms of, we better talk back to Premier section. Finals in a few weeks' time. One win, one loss against Collegians. Are they the biggest threat, or who do you see as the threats for you guys?
Oh, look, again, got great respect for all teams that are in contention. Clearly, the night we played Collegians, when we got taught a lesson, that was the best footy that we've seen. So probably they're the standout. I think that they're a fantastic team. In saying that, we played Uni Blues round 1, and haven't played them since, and they're really on a roll at the moment. And then the other two challenges are probably D-Lar and Zavs. Now, we have great respect for what Zavs can do in September. So if they're able to get in, we'll certainly be very respectful and cautious of them. And if D-Lar get their run and gun style up, they're a challenge. So, as I said, our club's never won one, so we have great respect and understand how difficult it is. So
night footy? How did you enjoy playing night footy?
Oh, I hated it.
Hated it?
Yeah, no. Look, as a rule, great. Well, you'd think it would be a great experience, but obviously when Collegians pump you by about 20 goals, it certainly didn't make it enjoyable.
Different to your Saturday schedule, and how did you go with all that?
Well, we obviously didn't handle it very well.
Yep.
I mean, on the day, I thought it was a good experience, but
Yep.
I guess I'm probably clouded by the fact that we played so poorly.
You got beaten badly, but actually the experience, the conditions were okay, all that sort of thing.
Look, lights are very good there, so I couldn't complain about any of that.
It's been great. First segment. We'll leave you out of the hammer for the time being. We're going to take a break. We're going to come back with more Tragics. Are you going to stick around, Plugger?
I'll stick around.
Good on you, mate. Back with more in a moment.
Anytime is the right time to get fit at Anytime Fitness. Access over 400 gyms across the country 24/7 and discover why more Australians train at Anytime Fitness than any other gym. Go online and register now for your free 7-day pass and feel something better.
Welcome back to the Tragics. Time now to turn our attention to VAFA Women's, and the finals kicked off last weekend, Nick. Some great scenes with girls winning their way through their first finals.
Yeah, they did. As you can see, Mazadod right there, with their 2-point win over Ajax, that was probably the celebration of the weekend. But Scob Saints went straight through to the William Buck Premier Grand Final after they defeated Fitzroy ACU by 39 points. And Scob's second side, the Aussies, down in Development Division 4, are through to the prelim after defeating Swinburne in a fantastic come-from-behind victory. So I just wanted to ask Anthony about that and the impact of the women's team that they've had on the men since coming a couple of years ago.
Oh, look, I reckon it's one of the best things that's ever happened, to be honest, to our footy club. Seriously, getting the women involved in our footy club last year, obviously they had their first year last year. It's just... they bring such amazing energy to the group. I mean, you've probably seen with women's footy, their warm-up, their song after the game, they go to another level.
I still can't get over the high-pitched singing of the song. It's so funny to hear the song being sung with that high pitch, but it's great.
But they've just added an amazing dimension into our footy club. And just all the little thankless tasks, they're always the first ones to do them. And I reckon it's been a great sort of kick up the backside for some of our boys who are sort of quick to leave straight after training or leave straight after dinner on a Thursday. The girls are always sticking back, packing up the chairs, cleaning up, all that sort of stuff. And
you got a lot of sides at St Kevin's.
We do.
How do you fit them all on that TH King, and how does that work?
Yeah, look, it's a challenge. It really is. Fortunately, we've had the support of having Basel Reserve, which is where the girls' sort of home base is. But they'll finish their sessions on Thursday, jump in their cars and drive across to TH King and to have dinner with us. Managing the thirds and the 19s, they train on a Monday and a Thursday. So pretty much everyone's there on a Thursday, but the 19s and thirds will train on a Monday. So Tuesday will just be the seniors and reserves group.
Back in the day when I was doing VAFA TV on the road, it was still one of the best club environments to go to on a Thursday night. Was the Scob environment down there at TH King. I think we won the... I think you did, yeah. Matty Lodge.
Matty Lodge, that's right.
With the Search for a Star.
Search for a Star, that's right.
Any romances between the two teams? Obviously with two women's teams and all those men's teams, it's bound to be a bit of romance. Club functions, it'd be a bit of fun.
You would certainly think so. Obviously, being married with 2 kids, I'm not as social as I used to be, Lenny, but I think there's a few romances. I noticed at the 10K raffle the other week that Jared Gleeson looked to have a fairly close tag, but I won't mention the lovely young lass that was giving him the hard tag.
The only player that's got close to Jared Gleeson all year, I reckon.
You're probably right, absolutely.
Other prelim finals this weekend, all paid events for the first time. The first finals, of course, for the women's were all home games, played at the club's grounds, but this weekend, neutral grounds, with Trevor Barker Oval and Bill Lowry Oval hosting the games on Saturday and Sunday. You can check the VAFA website for those matches. Quick look at some action from the divisions, Nick. Really fascinated to see what's happened in Division 1 with Preston Bullants and Oakley now taking them out of the top 4.
Yeah.
With, the Crushers moving in with a big win on the weekend.
Yeah, the Crushers have been pushing for a few weeks now, Preston. And they entered 4th spot on the ladder following their 100-point win over St John's. They were led by a 9-goal haul from Aaron Cloak, and I think he's got a few performances a week on this show, Aaron Cloak. The Crushers increased a 41-point half-time lead with 13 goals to 3 in the final 2 terms. But St Mary's Salesian, so this is the other game which has an impact on this result, held Preston Bullants to just 4 goals during their 70-point win at Ferndale. Now, the ladder leaders kicked 9 unanswered in the first half and took a 57-point lead into the main break before things evened out with 5 goals to 6 in the final 2 terms. Now, for 8 weeks in a row, Preston have gone win-loss, win-loss, win-loss. They've got 2 wins against Pegs, who are the ladder leaders, and they're just really struggling with that inconsistency. But as we know, once it turns into September, they're always going to be a team. If they do make it, if they can get back into the 4.
A meteoric rise for Preston, of course, the former Northern Blues that have come up from Division 4, won a flag in their first year, won a flag in their second year, and I think they win 3 in a row.
They won 3 in a row.
They won 3 in a row, yeah. So they're still a great football club. George Wakeham doing great things there at the Division 1 side. We'll take a quick break. We've got plenty more to discuss on the other side. We're going to talk about dangerous tackles. I want to get your view on that, Plugger, and we'll do a dissection as well. Back with more in a moment on the Tragics.
Anytime is the right time to get fit at Anytime Fitness. Access over 400 gyms across the country 24/7 and discover why more Australians train at Anytime Fitness than any other gym. Go online and register now for your free 7-day pass and feel something better.
Welcome back to the Tragics. Interesting one. We just want to talk about dangerous tackles, given what's happened in the AFL in recent weeks with Paddy Dangerfield and Brodie Grundy from Collingwood being suspended for 3 down to 2. What's your view on tackling and what's the right way to go about a tackle, given what you've seen in the media? We don't have it, obviously, vision to analyse in the VAFA, but what do you think about it all?
It's a difficult one, I reckon. I mean, it's difficult enough at AFL where they've got 30 cameras and a match review panel to adjudicate. I just think, I mean, I've seen a few in the AMOs where this more with a sling tackle. There was about 3 or 4, I reckon, in a month last year where guys were suspended. In principle, I agree. You've got to look after the player. So I can't comment specifically about the Grundy one because I haven't really seen it. But as a rule, you've got to protect the players. To me, it all comes down to intent. Really, doesn't it? And
do you know what you're doing when you're in the middle of a tackle, though? Are you thinking about what you're doing with the player?
Yeah, I don't know. I think the dual action, to me, if it's 2 actions, that says it's you've got you're making a decision. 2 actions, you're making a dump decision. I think if it's just 1 motion, I reckon that's not a conscious decision.
Go back to when you're being coached, though. You tackle to tackle
hurt.
a hurt.
Yeah, absolutely.
I reckon that's mentioned by coaches when you're growing up.
And to pin the arm as well.
Pin the arms, absolutely, and take them to ground. Take them out of the contest.
Them into the ground,
yeah. And drive them into the ground, I reckon, is often mentioned. So that's going to have to completely change. If we, as expected, if this keeps happening, there's probably going to be an interpretation of the rules to be changed as well. So if you're pinning the arms, it's probably likely you won't be able to take them to the ground. I saw your former coach of yours tweet exactly that on the weekend.
Did he?
Yeah. Well, probably a rule change that will have to happen. You won't be able to take a player to ground if you pin both arms. But I don't know how you're going to know that.
Probably the AFL guys are much better trained as well. They probably spend a lot more time technique-wise. I don't think it'll be an issue at local footy.
How much time do you spend on technique for tackling?
Very little. I mean, we tackle, but I don't think we don't break it down into a wrestling sort of drill or anything.
Probably more pre-season if you're doing anything like that. Yeah,
exactly. But not specific to technique. I just think it's more about the tackle itself.
Right, we'll get quickly into the dissection to finish off the show. Who's going to kick it off?
I'll kick it off.
Rightio.
I'll go to Plugger. Who's the biggest threat to St Kevin's William Buck Premier chances?
Well, you'd have to say Collegians. Let's be honest. If on what we've seen so far, they would have to be the number 1. But as I said, I know this sounds quite diplomatic, but we have great respect for both Uni Blues, Zavs in particular. I mean, these teams have won Premier flags before. So
what you really want to say is whoever we play on grand final day.
that's very unfair, mate.
Is Preston still a chance in Division 1?
Yeah, they are. They are, because as we mentioned before, they are September specialists, never lost in September. Now, they've lost 1 final last year, but that was the week before September, so it doesn't count. So they've got Therry Penola at St John's over the next 2 weeks, which they will get done, and then they've got Ormond in the last round, which I think it'll come down to. So there's still a chance, and they're the team that you don't want to play if you're finishing 3rd.
I've got one here. my little mate Nick here. Now, you've got some man crushes in the football, let's be honest.
Yep.
I won't name them all, but I'll go to one player in my team, Nick Wood.
Yep.
You're a big fan of Nick Wood. I think you had him penciled in for the Woodrow after about 4 rounds.
Yep.
He's missed a little bit of footy since then, but I'm just interested on your take on his recent lip sync battle performance on VAFA Media Day. It's cringeworthy from my point of view, but as your man crush, do you have an opinion on it? Have we got some footage?
Yeah, let's
maybe we
roll the
could show?
vision first.
You know you love me, I know you care. Just shout whenever, and I'll be there. You want my love, you want my heart, and we will never, ever, ever be apart.
Yes, I do have an opinion on Woody's performance. I actually think it was elite compared to the other 9 boys, who everyone was a bit apprehensive. And I don't think Woody would mind us saying this, but we went through one run and he realised that he probably wasn't up to scratch as the other boys. So he's like, nah, we're doing run 2, and that's actually the second, and that's because he wanted to be that good. So I think that was elite, and I think that's why he's going to be leading the Woodrow after 4 rounds.
Now, Plugger, would you be the leading goal kicker in VAFA Premier if you were a permanent forward, stay-at-home forward?
Absolutely not. No, I was kidding myself 2 years ago. I thought that I could go back to my sort of under 13 and 14 days where I could kick bags of 10 sitting looking forward. But no, with the quality of defender and the quality of forward, no, I'm happy just plodding away in the ruck.
Fair enough. Final one, Nick. Should there be a permanent dedicated ski weekend for everyone in the VAFA?
Well, we might as well. We might as well, because people go away anyway. But case in point, this bloke. Now look at some of the highlights that we've got here from his skiing trip last weekend. Yeah, he's not exactly Sean White. No, he's not.
Four buys aren't enough for you, Lenny, to find one to
I
get
went
away.
to Europe in the middle of the year as well. Missed a few
Yeah.
shows as well. So I'm going having a good year. Feeling like a player at an amateur
Must be
club,
feeling
actually.
fresh.
Exactly right. It's been great to have you on. Thank you
Thanks,
very
Lenny.
much for coming
Pleasure.
down.
Thanks, Nick.
Really enjoyed your
Thanks,
company,
mate.
and good luck for St Kevin's for the rest of the year as well.
Thank you very much.
Nick, we'll catch you again next week.
You will. Look forward to it.
We'll see you again next week on the Tragics.